And we're back. Welcome back to the Animated Arcade. I'm still Aaron.
I'm still on, too. It's been a long day. Also, I'm John. And yeah, it's the Video Game Cartoon Podcast, where we watch, review, riff on, and share trivia about video game cartoons. In this case, still continuing with the Super Mario Bros. Super Show and The Legend of Zelda.
In air date order.
Quite right.
And we're doing on this show both the live action and the cartoon version of the episode that was aired. And those episodes were Little Marios.
Little Marios.
And Koopa Klaus.
Koopa Klaus. Yeah, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Yeah, this is episode 36 of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. And episode 36 of our show, unless you count...
the April Fool's episode.
The April Fool's episode. So yeah.
Which I don't.
No, I don't either. That was a skip into a parallel universe or something. But this originally aired October... I bumped the mic. This originally aired October 23rd, 1989. So they played it 2 months before Christmas. We're reviewing it 2 months after. So it kind of evens out in the end.
Yeah, if you take when they played it and averaged out when we recorded, you have a Christmas somewhere between then.
Yeah.
Perfectly in the middle.
And a not so happy New Year. That's not Tri-Clyde's voice, but I can never remember Tri-Clyde's voice. So anyway... That's Poppins the cat.
Yes.
In case you didn't know. Aaron's got like 3 other cats, but Poppins is the only one who ever has to make a noise during this stuff. Or start headbutting microphones.
I mean, we have had Anna snoring once.
That's true.
And the one time that we sneezed and she did not like that.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's their fault for being an allergic trigger to me.
Have you considered just getting better at your allergies?
I'm considering talking about the live-action segment Little Marios.
Mario Brothers brings our game. The fame. Trouble. Double.
Others.
Brothers. Hooked on the brothers. Yo,
Aaron.
So, the Mario Brothers are sitting on their tub couch.
Yeah, now is that new?
I don't know. I feel like it's been there, but I feel like there's been so many other random over-the-top set pieces that this is one of those little ones that just slid under the counter.
Yeah, it's like, I don't remember this. No, okay. It's basically a bathtub with one side cut apart to have your legs come out, and it's about the size of like a love seat, and it's just filled with some cushions. And it's an interesting piece of furniture. It fits with the set. I just really don't know if we've seen it before. I know it's not their usual main couch.
Yes,
They have like a regular couch.
Yeah.
Hell, don't they use the regular couch in the flashbacks?
I think, yeah.
Not to get ahead of ourselves. So anyway, the bros are sitting in their tub couch watching what sounds like it's going to be a boxing match.
Or wrestling.
Maybe.
Or competitive figure skating.
Could be. It's going to be violent either way.
Yeah.
When you see in the background a little kid with a big suitcase sort of ambling in.
And this is when we know this episode is going to be awful.
Yeah, never work with children or animals except the Ratigator.
Yes.
The kid's name is Brian.
Or Ryan.
We thought it was Ryan, but it turned out to be Brian.
Yeah.
And he is running away from home. They have to put the screws to him to figure that out. First, He says he's selling... What was he selling? What was the first thing he said he was selling? No.
That was the last one.
That was the last.
I want to say vacuum cleaners, then encyclopedias, then Tupperware. And Mario almost fell for the Tupperware.
That's true.
Meanwhile, Luigi, each time that he says that, it's like, Brian.
Brian.
Would you believe encyclopedias? Brian. How about Tupperware? Really?
Yeah.
Brian, okay, I'm running away from home because my mom and dad don't love me and I want their life to be miserable, so I'm going to run away.
Yeah, and the weird thing is, he never actually says what the disagreement with his parents is. You know, you assume it's something like made to eat his vegetables or whatever, but...
He was given U.S. Froot Loops instead of Canadian.
Oh, that's not cool. Well, I think back then they were probably closer.
I'd run away from home for that as well.
Yeah. Well, American Froot Loops are sweeter, but I like the flavor of Canadian ones more.
Yeah, and
I don't like the color more, though. The Americans have better colored Froot Loops. Since we went all natural and they all have that faded look.
Yes, but ours are more flavorful. Each one tastes different instead of each one being, oh, this one's tastes the exact same, but it's blue.
If you're taking the time to taste each individual Froot Loop, you're going to be late for work.
I separate my bowl out into the rainbow. Then I eat from Roy to Biv.
Yeah. G doesn't get a look in. But anyway, so they sit around, or no, they don't yet. It cuts to the cartoon.
Yes.
And
then it cuts back to them sitting around the kitchen table having pizza.
Yeah. And sitting next to the pizza phone, but they seem to be two separate. There's a separate pizza. They're not eating the phone.
Good.
Fortunately.
Good.
Because if it doesn't ring, which, I mean, now to be fair,
it didn't.
And it hasn't in a bit.
But it has been used last episode on a better episode.
Yeah, than this one. So anyway, to try and convince Brian to get the hell out of their house and go home, they regale him with the story of the time Mario ran away from home.
And this...
Which is told in flashback.
Yeah, and it has the little beanie hat, Mario and Luigi running around in the same place. This is apparently where they grew up.
Yeah, which is terrible. I wouldn't want to grow up in there. And also, okay, we need to set this. This is not a flashback with child actors.
No.
This is Danny Wells and Lou Albano with their fake mustaches not on and wearing green and red lederhosen.
Yes. And
they're supposed to be like Dennis the Menace shorts overalls. Yeah. That's the U.S. Dennis the Menace, I should say.
And the hat with a helicopter fan on top.
Yeah, propeller beanie.
Yeah.
Because up here, beanie only means that.
Yes.
The other hat is a toque, you bastards. But anyway, they're running around and carrying on, and then the unmistakable voice of Mama Luigi comes in from behind the door while she only waves her arm and doesn't show her face.
Yes.
Basically...
scolding Mario about the fact that they're always fighting, and it's Mario's fault because he's the older brother. So he's has to be on garlic duty for the next week.
Yeah, originally he was going to be grounded. And then he reminds Mama that he's been grounded like 3 times this week already. So she says, yeah, he has to peel the garlic for the next 5 days.
Yeah.
And Mario says, not the garlic. It makes me smell so bad. I don't even want to play with me. And meanwhile, Luigi is, giggling and laughing. And they do a lot of pointing.
Yeah.
That's like their default hand language as kids, I guess. And Mario says he's going to run away from home.
And then he gets scared and says, let's watch clips from the...
Yeah, suddenly there's young Mario's hostage video plays. Where he looks at the camera unblinkingly and says, yeah, I'm so scared, and I'm going to do what I always do when I'm scared, and that's watch these clips from The Legend of Zelda, and he doesn't blink.
Oh...
And yeah, there's somebody with a gun or a crossbow off screen.
Crowbar.
Ooh. Say the lines, Mario, or we send you back home in a pizza box.
Someone's threatening his favorite plumber's helper. All it takes is one pinprick, and this plumber's helper becomes useless.
I think it would take more than one.
It breaks the seal.
Yeah, well. I guess so.
Have you ever broken a seal?
Not with a pinprick. So, the Zelda clip, you want to comment on that at all?
Yes. So, it gives me hope for better days.
Yeah. Yeah, you see some clips that, as usual, I have a better idea of the context of. Aaron may not. There's, some after-hours rope swinging going on.
I found out what color Link's underwear is.
Yeah.
It's white with hearts on it.
Of course it is. It's an 80s cartoon. It had to be. We see that Zelda's not wearing any because her robe is hilariously open. Not in like the episode 1 way. Yeah, there's a little gremlin with a bomb seemingly blows up the Triforce, which is not in the room with Link. Oh no, actually I remember why Link's not in the room with it, but we won't go there yet. I'm sure that'll be spoiled for us in the next 3 episodes, but in the meantime, yeah, there's some intrigue going on with the Triforce, and they're going to have to sort that out. Do you hear that?
I certainly do. It's water running.
That is a high-pitched sound. Just give me a sec here. Sorry, I'll be right back, folks. And by folks, I mean me when I cut this out.
Do you even hear it without it?
I don't. Well, no, I did. But I don't anymore. I heard it until I stood up and took one step. But you did hear it, right?
I did.
Do you hear it now?
No.
Okay. Whatever it was seems to have sorted itself out.
So the Zelda cartoon looks a lot better than everything from this week. Spoilers.
Yeah. And yeah, so after the Zelda clip, we cut back to Brian at the table with the Marios, which then cuts back to the story where Mario is talking about how much his family definitely missed him.
And it flashes back once again to Luigi and Mama Luigi having the time of their lives.
It's Mama Mario. Mama Luigi is somebody different who we haven't met yet.
You said Mama Luigi earlier.
Did I?
You certainly did.
Did I say the unmistakable voice of Mama Luigi?
Yes.
I meant to say Mama Mario. Because it's that thing. It's Captain Lou in the dress. I mean, we don't see him. But anyway. Okay, Mama Mario with her back to the camera.
Yes.
And who knows who's playing that. And young Luigi. And they're talking about how great it is without Mario around.
Yeah, they can actually enjoy the quiet, the food staying around, all of this.
Yeah, there's actually enough food for everybody and stuff like that.
And Mario gets scared and comes back home.
Yeah. And there's a slightly tender moment where, Mama Mario talks about all the stuff she missed, like the noise and the whatever, and, sarcastically, but then mentions that she did miss Mario.
Yeah.
And then cuffs him upside the head with her purse just in case.
Yes.
Which is fair enough. And it cuts back to
the non-flashback of Brian going, "That was the most beautiful story I ever heard. It makes me want to barf."
Yeah. Yeah, I think he said, that story was so beautiful, it makes me want to barf.
Yeah.
I think I better get home before the popcorn's gone. Because in the flashback, Luigi was eating popcorn.
Yes.
And he goes home. They just let the kid leave with his suitcase and wander back. I'm guessing he's from the apartment building above them. It's never stated. They said watch out for cars, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, whatever. It's New York. It's the 80s. This kid is just
on the side of a milk carton now.
Yeah. Maybe he's somewhere in space.
Oh,
well, yeah. This was terrible.
No, yeah, it was.
I didn't despise it, but freaking Danny Wells and Mario and Captain Lou as their younger selves in the outfits. It's funny in concept, annoying in execution. To me.
And the kid was just annoying in execution.
Yeah. Yeah, the kid wasn't great either. It was a child actor on a TV budget. It's tricky. They have to be able to read lines somewhat naturally. Like, this kid wasn't tripping over his dialogue or anything, but, he was kind of stilted. But, I mean, they probably just handed him the script the day he came in, too.
Yes.
But the kid did seem familiar.
He certainly did.
Who was he?
His name was Brian Bonsall.
Bonsall?
Bonsall.
Is it? I thought it was 2 L's.
It is. It's
Okay.
Bonsall.
Captain Bonsall.
And he's been active in filming in TV and movies until 1995. Started in 1986, only 3-ish years before this.
Okay. What are some highlights?
Family Ties as Andy Keaton.
Yeah, the younger brother.
In Star Trek The Next Generation as Alexander.
Yeah, Worf's son. If you were wondering why this kid seems slightly familiar and you didn't watch Family Ties, but you did watch Star Trek, it's Worf's son, Alexander.
And then did a whole bunch of different TV and movie appearances. None really notable.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate him.
Very good.
In 2007, he was arrested on charges of assaulting his partner and sentenced on 2009 for failing to appear in court.
Yeah, you can't fail to appear in court. They frown on that.
And then in 2010, he was arrested again for marijuana use in violation of his probation.
Yeah, we have our own opinions on marijuana use, but it's a probation thing that makes it wrong in this case.
And yeah, no, any domestic abuse, I do not support.
On my hat. Well, very good. It's the only time we see him in this, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, because, again, this is 89. He was an of-the-time, guest star. This isn't a rando like Mad Donna. Like, this is closer to a Rob Stone-style cameo.
Yes.
For better and for worse. I knew there was something about the kid's nose that was so familiar to me, and that's when you said it was Worf's son, I'm like, okay.
He has started in a few different rock groups. Not gonna mention any of them because they're all still active.
Neat. Well, there's not much else to say about this one. Bottom third.
Yeah.
And again, usually this is the sort of one that Danny Wells and Lou Albano can kind of elevate with their antics, and it wasn't creepy. It was just kind of annoying.
Yeah.
They were playing annoying kids, and either it landed too well or it landed wrong. I don't know. Did they do too good a job? Or was the whole thing just kind of...
I think the issue with this is that it was a bad, overdone idea already.
Yeah, not like Dracula. That's always fresh.
I mean, Dracula, they're doing different... Like, they've done it twice, but each one was done a different way.
Yeah.
This is the stereotypical kid runs away from home, stops off at their weird uncle's place, and their uncles give him advice to go back home because they did the same when they were of that age.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's not exactly a fresh concept.
And it's been done better. Don't ask me where. But it's been done better.
No, I hear you. I completely agree. I think The Orphan was better than this.
I would agree.
Yeah.
This is bottom third.
It's down there. It's above it. It's above Magic Johnson just for the sake of...
And above Cher's Poochie.
Yeah, that's pretty weak.
And the other Pam Madison dog episode.
Yeah. Now, was that one better than Cher's Poochie or worse? Do you remember? I think it was better. Oh, no, I think it was worse.
It was worse because it was annoying.
That's right.
And there was a few good parts of it, but it just was annoying.
Yeah, that was
There was-
there was where the three of them stood in a room the whole time and talked to each other.
Yeah, and the whistling.
Oh yeah, the whistling. I forgot about that.
And, like, it's a whole bunch of things that made it a lot worse for the episode.
Well, at least we'll get a slight step up when we get into the cartoon. We ready to do that?
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to it, but we're going to get hooked on the
Christmas.
Now, evil Koopa and his troopers are up to misbehaving. They kidnapped the princess Mushroom Land needs saving.
Are we going to do anything?
No. Jingle bells, jingle bells.
John, I got you a present.
Did you? Is
Yeah.
it a snowboard?
No. It's just another slice of pizza from the pizzeria.
Ooh, excellent.
Let's take this opportunity to talk about the pizzeria.
Oh, we should also take this opportunity to say, hey, if you're enjoying the show, leave a comment and like and subscribe on the YouTube version and give us 5 stars on your podcatcher of choice. We're supposed to do that before the transition now.
Oh, yeah. Well, time to transition.
Yeah. So please do that.
And if you are listening to us on like Spotify or anything like that and you aren't following us, please do that so you never miss an episode.
Yeah. So, Koopa Klaus. It's a Christmas one. It's pretty lousy. Let's do this.
Bottom third.
Bottom third. So we cut from what I think would be, well, not counting like stars in their eyes. We see the mushroom world from space, and it's an oval.
Yeah, ish.
And near the north-ish part of it, there's giant ice spikes or something. I don't know. It's a giant glacier on top of this ovoid planet. But anyway, King Koopa is pulling a Grinch, and he's dressing up as Koopa Klaus, and he's going to kidnap Santa, and has he already at this point, or do we see him do it?
We haven't yet because he's loading up his sleigh to kidnap Santa.
Yeah, okay, but I couldn't remember if he had already. No, yeah, okay.
Because
They're loading up ice bombs. We should start making a list of the different types of these bombs he's got.
Itching powder, black hole, ice. What else?
That orangey smoke from the pirate one.
Oh yeah,
And I think just regular explosives once in a while. But anyway, he's loading up the sleigh with those, but they're also breaking toys already for some reason, just because he hates Christmas.
He went out to the superstore, bought as many toys of the popular brands they could find, like Tickle Me Elmo and Cheetor and the Green Power Ranger.
He's the reason that if you didn't get the toy you wanted in Christmas of 1989, it's because of King Koopa.
Exactly.
But no,
and every year since.
And every single year since, yeah. It wasn't because your parents waited till the last minute. It's King Koopa.
It wasn't because scalpers. It's King Koopa.
King Koopa would scalp toys. That would be a better way to do it. So,
but he hates Christmas so much he doesn't want anyone to enjoy it.
That's true. Yeah, he wouldn't even try and make money off it. He just wants to ruin it for people.
Yeah.
So, they're loading up his sleigh with these freeze bombs. His partner in crime in this episode, haven't seen Mouser in a while. It's Triclyde wearing bicycle handlebars on his heads, and red clown noses, and Koopa calls him Randolph the Red-Nosed Triclyde. Yeah. Only once. And he's got albatrosses or the other ones. I think it's an albatross.
I think so.
He's got 2 albatrosses that are going to pull the sleigh. They've got the phony horns on too. And he keeps saying Bah Hum Coop.
Which is awful.
It's awful. There's got to be a better one. I can't think of it right now. Don't ask. But Bah Hum Coop. There's got to be Coop Humbug. Oh. Would have been better, I think. What do you think?
Bah Coop Bug.
That's a little better too. Bah Hum Coop really doesn't land.
No.
Anyway, so he's going to flash freeze the North Pole and kidnap Santa, so everybody's Christmas is ruined. Meanwhile, Toad's already trying to ruin everyone's Christmas. because we cut to 5 miles away from the North Pole, where the Mario Brothers, the Princess, and Toad pop out of a hole in the ground, Bugs Bunny style, practically. And they'd been heading for, quote, Hawaii World, or Hawaii Land.
Yeah.
And
This doesn't look like Hawaii land.
yeah, Mario's in a Hawaiian shirt and a straw hat. Everyone else is dressed as normal.
And I'm not even dressed the part today.
No. It turns out Toad has intentionally steered them towards the North Pole so they can meet Santa. That's fine. That's a decent enough gag. But then you learn that the reason Toad loves Christmas is because he's obsessed with presents.
This is the worst version of Toad.
Yeah, and
If
like
we're-
Toad's age in this show is ambiguous at best because his voice is way too gravelly to be a child. But sometimes he's excitable like a kid, but other times he's not. Other times he's Evel Knievel.
So rating Toad, Toad appearances, this is the worst. Toad Warriors is the best.
Yeah, from Toad Warrior to Koopa Klaus.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he keeps going on about presents and whatever. And the princess eventually pulls out his Christmas present, even though it's not quite Christmas yet, and it's a snowboard. And he talks about how great it is, doesn't thank her, goes around on it, and continues on with his I love presents, and everyone else is getting pretty sick of this, but they're going to go visit Santa anyway. And it's a good thing they do because they find the whole place frozen.
Yes.
Oh, no, before they actually spot Koopa Klaus in the sky first, because they realize he's on his way to the North Pole.
After dropping bombs on them.
Yeah, regular bombs, not the freezing ones.
Yeah.
So he must have had some of those too.
Oh,
Yeah, was it look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, and then Koopa himself says, it's Koopa Klaus.
Yeah.
So that they don't try to pull the whole, he's not pretending to be Santa. This isn't the Grinch in that sense, at least. He's dressing up as Santa, but he's not doing the swap and replace. This isn't Robotnik Claus. Thank God. Did you ever see that?
No.
Sonic Christmas Blast?
Nope.
It's the worst episode of any Sonic cartoon I've ever seen. You got to check it out sometime.
Oh, help a elf grounder!
It's your merry Yuletide ship.
Chain this brat up in my robot factory and teach him some Christmas spirit.
No! Wait! Help!
But this opening is the first instance of 2 of our cover song, Jingle Bell Rock, originally by Bobby Helms, and it's an okay cover.
Yeah, it's the best part of this entire episode.
Yeah, they play it for a few seconds during the scene where they find the sign for the North Pole, and then they play it right at the end during the Merry Christmas to All, Have a Good Night stuff. So we'll save cutting it in till the end, I think, because that's probably the bit I'll use.
Yeah.
Which you may have already seen it if you're following us on YouTube or on TikTok, because I used that as a short on Christmas week. So we won't be able to mine that twice for shorts, but that's okay. There's other stuff in this episode.
There sure is. Nothing good, but there's other stuff.
Yeah, this is the weird thing I kind of admire a little bit about this episode is that, yes, Santa's workshop is frozen. Yes, they got to save Koopa, or they got to save Santa from Koopa. But it doesn't take place in the North Pole a lot. There isn't a whole bunch of, they're not fighting with candy canes and stuff like that. This is more of a chase story where they're constantly trying to catch up with Koopa and rescue Santa from him. And it keeps the energy up. It has a brisk pace. I actually thought it was a bit short.
Yeah, it does have a brisk pace, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah. These Mario cartoons are 15 minutes long, and if they start to drag, that really drags. But the first instance, they catch up. They find the elves' playground.
Yes.
So, that's good. The elves have a little R&R center that looks like it's from a kindergarten. And after a lot of rigmarole, the Mario Brothers launch an ice block at Koopa with a teeter-totter from an igloo.
At this point, Koopa has already kidnapped Santa.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we mentioned that.
We did in passing, saying that they're rescuing Santa from Koopa.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time they catch up and find the North Pole frozen and Santa's gone.
Oh.
And yeah, they use the thing as a catapult. It hits Koopa's sleigh, and it does knock Koopa and Santa down. And Koopa uses his Santa bag as a parachute.
And saves Santa as well.
Which is a little weird. He could have just dropped Santa and floated away himself. Because later on, he does resort to that.
Yes, but let's get back to the sending the ice cube. How accurate do you need to be with a teeter-totter and an ice cube to a giant, 1.5 by 1.5 ice cube?
Yeah, an ice block, let's say.
Yeah.
An igloo block. Yeah, well, the fact that they didn't do anything to aim, they didn't do anything to time it, and they had, like, the minute-long discussion they had about Luigi, Luigi, toss me that ice block. You want me to toss this? And Luigi can barely hold it up. It's like, okay, pass it to me. And he hikes it over. They put it down on the teeter-totter. And then Mario picks up Luigi, and they both jump on the teeter-totter and finally fire the ice block, and it's a bullseye.
Exactly.
What if they had shot it what if Luigi had tossed in the ice block and they'd shot it then? Would it have overshot, undershot? Would it somehow still have worked? The fact that Koopa was in its direct line of
trajectory?
Yeah. There's another word that I'm trying to think of for the excuse me. For the launching arc of a catapult.
What's Koopa's hitbox on his
That must be it. I think those albatrosses were happy to get out of there.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, then Koopa hits the ground with Santa and
takes him to the cliff at this point.
No, there's the wind.
Oh.
And Koopa opens up the bag again and uses it as a parasail, which was pretty neat, Koopa is actually the most interesting character in this episode because Toad's little crisis of conscience doesn't work for me. And so Koopa and Santa are snow sliding across the ice, and the Marios are chucking snowballs at them.
And Koopa catches them all in his bag.
Yeah, and then chucks the bag full of snow back at them and knocks them over. Oh, and when do the flurries come in? That's after this?
I think so.
So Koopa summons a pack of flurries who are on little ice skates this time. And they can spawn ice blocks and slide them at the Mario Brothers, which I don't remember if they actually can do that in Mario 2. Or if they're just slidey around enemies. At least they're not licking Koopa's feet like they were in the first episode. And you get the... they fight fire with fire. You mean fight ice with ice. And they grab a block of their own that's already cut out and chiseled, and they slide their way and knock all the flurries over like bowling pins, complete with the sound. The only bowling pin sound you've ever heard. This one.
Let's fight fire with fire! You mean fight ice with ice?
Yes. But that's when they catch up to Koopa, who's got Santa up on a cliff face, and he's going to chuck him in what looks like just a snowfield with jagged icicles, but is apparently actually the water.
Yes.
With jagged icicles and snow and ice flows. Now, could you see that? I thought it was just white snow. I thought he was just going to throw him off a cliff.
That's exactly what I thought. I thought he was just going to throw him into a Mortal Kombat him into a pit.
Yeah.
With spikes.
With spikes, yeah. Do-do-do.
We just finished playing a couple rounds of Street Fighter 6. It was pretty good.
Yeah, once we finally downloaded all the updates. But how did they resolve this?
That's a good question. This one really didn't stick with us.
Yeah. No, how did they...
Oh, I know that Coop got thrown into the water.
Yeah, they saved... Oh, what started the avalanche?
Oh! Another Bahumkoop.
Oh, yeah. Throughout the episode, he'd been saying Bah Hum Coop. This time he yells it, and it starts an avalanche. And so the snow's coming down from above the cliff that they're on. And so they split up. Luigi rescues Toad and the princess and takes them to the cave that they just got out of, which was another part that I don't remember. What were they doing in a cave?
Being in a cave.
Yeah.
This episode was bad.
Yeah, I don't remember the cave, except that they had to get, quote, back into the cave.
I know.
Do you mind if I cheat? I just want to check.
You cheated.
Just real quick. Decided to present Toad an early gift without bothering to thank the princess. Oh yeah, Toad was worried that those bombs might have damaged his snowboard. Doesn't ask if anyone else is all right. Oh yeah, when they find that Santa's gone, Toad begins to cry because he'll never receive another Christmas present. Forgot about that.
Oh.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, Koopa slides down a snowy hill using Santa as a sled. I forgot about that scene. That was he slid past and then sent the flurries after. While doing that. And then Koopa Klaus drags Santa in a nearby cave, so Mario's group follows him. Before entering, Luigi remarks that the cave is quite dark, but Princess Toadstool reminds them that the world will look very dark without Christmas. Toad then brings up his desire for presents as well as rescuing Santa, so they enter the cave. The cave proves to be a bumpy ride for the quartet, and they end up falling off a cliff at the cave's exit onto a snowbank. Koopa Klaus, who apparently did not endure the same ride they did, holds Santa over the edge of the same cliff, threatening to drop him into the icy water below. So yeah, that's right. They went into the cave, and there's that pinball-y thing where they slid in front of the animation cell of the background.
Yes.
And then they...
Yeah.
Which I totally forgot. But Koopa just stopped at the exit of the cave, but was going to chuck Santa over, and apparently land in a different place than everyone else did. And then, yeah, he says, "Coop humbug, way too loud, there's an avalanche." Luigi takes Toad and the princess back to the cave, somehow. And Mario rescues Santa with his plumber's snake.
Right.
And Indiana Jones whip. I was thinking the same thing. Very good. Yeah, he like swings up, it wraps around Santa and pulls him away like a lasso. It's like, dang, that's a long plumber snake.
Uh-oh, hot dog!
And Koopa's like, "What about me?" And Mario just makes a diving motion with his hands. And Koopa's like, "Oh no, I'm not going to jump off of this thing." And then he does. And he lands in the water. And then he crawls up onto an ice floe. Talks about how things can't get any worse. And there's a polar bear with Homer Simpson stubble.
I was going to say it's a very Hanna-Barbera polar bear.
It is, in that style, where the mouth pieces are a different animated color, so they're moving, but the rest of the body doesn't as much. He's not wearing a bow tie so that they don't have to draw his neck, though. You ever notice that with Hanna-Barbera characters?
Yeah.
They always have a neck thing. Yeah. And
Koopa's a reptile. He's cold-blooded. Once if his body temperature drops, he should be going to sleep.
Yeah, well. He's got the righteous fury at being in this terrible cartoon. To keep him warm. And he's still wearing his Santa suit, for what that's worth.
But now it's soaking wet in Arctic conditions.
This is a guy who once fell off a 500-foot beanstalk and was fine.
He was big at that time.
Yeah, but he wasn't when he got out of the water. The bean wore off by then.
Just like the apple?
I guess. So anyway, they go back to Santa's workshop, which is still frozen. And Santa's obviously distraught. Toad mentions, at least he got his present, and Santa's like, "That's very nice, Toad." And then Toad finally feels a little bit of empathy for everyone else and gives his snowboard to Santa so that Santa could give it to someone else and at least deliver one present. And
The spirit of Christmas melted the North Pole.
And made Santa cry.
Yes.
Because it was the most beautiful gesture of the Christmas spirit he'd ever seen. One little twerp suddenly decides to make the right decision.
But we didn't talk about the Toad crying animation earlier as well.
No, well, I made sure to bring it back up when, because yeah, you thought, oh, that'll be the thumbnail. Then we forgot to talk about it.
Yeah.
So, no, it won't. I mean, you're not going to put Koopa Klaus as the title and whatever the title is going to be and then not show a picture of Koopa Klaus. Imagine if every single episode I just put a picture of the Mario Brothers instead of whatever the episode's about, or that one funny screenshot, or Toad shoving a wrench down his pants.
We need to send more of that out into the universe.
Yeah, I did see that screen grab on Reddit, and it's definitely the one that I've been using. So we're starting to help. We're starting to have some sort of effect.
There's a little traction happening from this little podcast that we're recording in Aaron's basement.
Yeah.
I'm Aaron.
I'm the basement. So, the workshop melts and Jingle Bell Rock starts playing again, and Santa's going to let Toad sit in the sleigh with him, and they're all going to help him deliver the presents and have a, what was it he said, a Mario Christmas and to all a good night.
Oh.
And that's the Jingle Bell Rock.
Yeah.
Next.
Also, we forgot about the fact that at the start, Coop's one line and his retaliation against Tri-Clyde.
Oh, yeah, because Koopa said what?
A very unmerry Christmas.
Something like that. And then Tri-Clyde's like, and a very unhappy New Year. Which was a better line.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Koopa tweaked it. He pulled the elastic band of his nose and let it go.
That's what gave me hope at the start. It's like, okay, there's going to be some slapstick that it's going to be okay.
Yeah. Instead, all the best action scenes were King Koopa escaping from the Mario Brothers through various means. Like, Koopa was unusually competent in this episode.
And then an unusually competent Koopa creates chaos
for the country at Christmas. But yeah, in terms of the episode itself,
I hate it.
I don't hate it, but I sure as hell don't love it.
It's better than the live action rapper.
This is one that I kind of came around on a bit while dissecting, but it was so hard to absorb. We had to go back and check the synopsis on the Mario Wiki, which has a lot of spelling errors. These wikis have been getting worse.
I blame the American education system.
If those kids could read, they would be very upset. But anyway, yeah, it was a very weak episode and a very shoehorned in Christmas spirit, more than presents story. Anytime a show has to suddenly make one of their characters really greedy around Christmas to learn that lesson, instead of having a character who it could conceivably have been. Yeah. I mean, I don't know who else it would have worked with. Toad's the only one it almost makes sense. And even that, you have to paper over the fact that, we don't know if Toad is a kid or what.
I can make the argument, and I will make the argument, that Mario would have been a better option with food, with pasta, with...
Yeah.
With something like that, because he has shown over and over again his greedy tendencies towards food.
That's true. But that wouldn't teach the kids at home that Christmas is about more than presents. And that's the whole thing, is trying to crowbar that into your cartoon. And how, unless you already have a greedy Smurf, it's really hard to do. Especially if you're really putting in no effort.
Yeah.
That's the trick. There could have been something. There could have been another way. Or they could have had a guest character who's, that's the ultimate cheat, is to bring in a one-episode character to learn a lesson. But, this show is constantly bringing in one-episode characters for all sorts of stuff. So, but whatever.
They could have brought in Santa's nephew. They could have just brought in Brian again.
Santos. Yeah, no, it's not good. Oh, there's the furnace. King Koopa is the best part of the episode, which you wish we could say more often, because he has that capacity.
He does.
And this time it's actually used. All right, well, let's get into the cast. Oh, this is the end of the episode, so this is where we're going to put the cover of Jingle Bell Rock. Special thanks, as always, to the Super Mario Bros. Super HQ channel on YouTube for the cover song. Link in the description below.
We made it, Santa!
Thanks to you, Toad. I'd like to give all of you a special present. How about coming with me to deliver the presents?
That's the Jingle Bell Rock. Okay, the cast. We got Lou Albano as Mario,
Danny Wells as Luigi.
Jeannie Elias as Princess Toadstool, John Stalker as Toad and Santa. Aaron and I had a coin flippy bet wondering, okay, is Santa going to be John Stalker or Harvey Atkin?
I lost.
He did lose this time, but usually
You get a handshake.
Excellent. Usually... Okay, that's my bad arm.
It's my bad arm, too.
Excellent. Okay, then you let go.
I can't. It's locked.
Uh-oh. I got carpal tunnel on one side and tennis elbow on the other. John Stalker as Toad and Santa, and Harvey Atkin as King Koopa / Koopa Klaus and Tri-Clyde. No additional VA notes. So the writers. We got, it was co-written by Jack Olesker and Perry Martin, both returning names. Olesker wrote The Great Gladiator Gig, which we liked.
Yes.
And Perry Martin, he's been on a run lately. He did King Mario of Cramelot, Adventures of Sherlock Mario, and the previous one, Mario Meets Koopzilla. So he's not batting all that highly anymore.
No.
I think the only one of those I actually really enjoyed was Cramelot.
And that was early on.
Yeah, I think that was just because it was the best of the first three.
Yeah.
Despite Mouser's distinguished mustache. Haven't seen Mouser in a while. Have we?
No.
Okay, lore or filler?
This is a heavy lore episode. The Ice Kingdom brings back feelings of...
The Ice Kingdom?
No, the North Pole brings back feelings of Mario Odyssey and all those other games to come. It's the trash that needs to be taken out.
Yeah, well, you know, it's always funny that we mix a rating one in with the lore filler. And it's filler. It's a Christmas episode in a way that doesn't make any sense.
That was aired in October.
Yeah. That really doesn't help. It does the whole Christmas thing in a universe that it's like, I mean, you can't question why these cartoon worlds have Christmas because every single cartoon does it. Hell, the Zelda episode last week, we didn't call it out. It made a Christmas reference. Link says that the blue ring was what he always wanted for Christmas.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, again, now this is back when there were only 2 Zelda games, and both of them had Link with a cross on his shield, so presumably, you know, something happened. But in the Mario universe, it's such a weird... Especially, like, again, I shouldn't factor this in because it's not this show, it's the next show. But in Mario 3, they start referring to Brooklyn and stuff as, quote, the real world. And so does that mean that the Mushroom Kingdom knows it's a fantasy world of some kind? Like a Narnia-esque ethereal plane? Or is it just another dimension? And if it is, why do they have Christmas?
Is it just for the Mario Brothers?
Was there a Mushroom Jesus?
Oh, no. And what does he do for the Mushroom Orphans?
And why did it cost 100 gold coins?
Yeah.
Oh, instead of 32 pieces of silver.
Oh, I don't get it.
What the hell was that?
That was a single bottle falling. I don't know how I pulled it off.
I think you knocked it over. Okay. Ratings.
Ratings?
Ratings.
Okay, let me adjust.
Jesus, that's awful.
Ratings?
Ratings.
I give it a 2.5 snow surfing toads out of a possible 10.
I give it a 1.5 Jesus mushrooms
Okay.
out of a possible 10. It's letter time. It's letter time. Hey.
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 Hi.
Well, unfortunately, we lost our streak after what, 3 episodes?
2.
Was it only 2?
I think it was only 2.
And we got Brock Lesnar.
Oh.
My neck still hurts. No, wait, no, he had the bad neck, but when he broke the streak, he concussed The Undertaker, which is just as bad. But that's enough about that and this year's lackluster Royal Rumble. Let's get into it. You got any comments for us?
I do. We should do better.
We should do better.
We should actually try and make this an entertaining podcast instead of whatever we've been doing for the last 3.5 years.
Okay, I thought you meant specifically this episode. It's like, well, considering the nature of how we do the mailbags, that's a fat thing for you to say.
Oh. But no, we actually do have some comments. Let's start with Mr. Failsafe, our friend Mike.
Yeah, now this is a Spotify comment?
This is a Spotify comment.
Very good. And there's Poppins the cat right on cue. That's okay. This is a mailbag. I don't care about ambient noise as much.
I'll rate you 5 stars, but you gotta follow and listen to Reclaim the Sun. Simple as that. All right, guys?
Yeah, Mike's band is Reclaim the Sun.
But the single that has just been released is Drown in Sleep. And we'll put a little snippet right here so that you can tell us whether you would rate it 5 stars. Because I would.
I would too.
I hear the cat purring. She would too.
Yeah. Well, wasn't that nice?
Yeah.
Do we have any other comments?
Oh, you know what? Yes, we sure do. This one is a comment and question on episode 34.
Was that Canadian moral superiority?
Yes. And this episode is something about faded Canadian Fruit Loops or something.
Yeah, although I still haven't decided how we're going to spell it.
Yeah.
Because one of them, the brand name of the cereal, looks weird when it's typed out with real letters.
Yes. But our Canadian Fruit Loops are better than the U.S. Fruit Loops.
Yeah, we've been over that. In fact, that's why the episode is named that. So, the comment.
If you two were to write a Super Show episode, live action and cartoon, what would you do for your live action segment skit, and what movie parody would you base the animated part off of? Personally, it would be fun to see the Mushroom Kingdom's take on ... Oh, wait a second. This comment is about the show this show's about. Roundhouse Kick. The Cole who almost forgot the shtick.
Oh, okay, so that was a Cole comment.
Yes.
You probably should have led with that. Or would it have ruined the surprise?
It would have ruined the surprise, because I want to answer this question.
She's sitting on the switchboard. You know, any cat owners in the audience or cat observers will know how the way they like to sit on phones or anything else that they could figure out is the most important thing on the table. That cat almost sat on our little PodTrack P4.
Yeah.
She would have hit all 4 buttons at once.
Which would have sounded something like this.
Yeah, luckily they only can play one at a time.
Yeah.
Okay, so our own made-up Super Show episode.
Ooh.
Should we split the difference and have you pick the live action while I pick the cartoon, or should we switch it up and do it the other way?
Or I'm going to pick both, you pick both.
Okay, which is correct. Kind of hoping to split the difference there. Okay, well, whichever one of us has an idea first can go.
All right. Live action. Simple Halloween episode, because we're still in October, maybe.
Yeah, I think this is like, I don't remember. It's like 27th or something of October when this would have aired.
It's a trick-or-treat episode where they're at the door opening up to all the past guests they've had, including Magic Johnson being delivered in a medicine cabinet, or as a medicine cabinet.
Magic Johnson dressed as a medicine cabinet?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that could get expensive quick unless we bring in a whole bunch of fake shares.
Well, how about just fake Shares Poochie?
Well, we could do that too. Well, that's interesting. And what's the punny name for that one?
Trapped in Treats. I don't know.
That's the hard part, isn't it?
Tricked for Treats.
Maybe. Something like that.
And then
Back away from your mic just a touch. There you go.
Creek.
Well, again, I was hearing a bit of this.
All right.
So that's why I'm sitting this far away, but with my gain up. I want to show off my gains.
You have no gains.
I know.
All right. And then for the parody episode.
The cartoon.
I don't know. A parody of Sonic the Hedgehog the movie.
The first one?
Yes.
So a parody of Hop.
Yes.
I mean, a parody of Alvin and the Chipmunks. I mean, a parody of Marmaduke. I mean, a parody of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
A road trip parody where Koopa thinks he's the smartest creature in the world, using robotic Koopniks.
Where's the road trip to?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles World. Or Los Angeles Land.
Yeah. Liberty Land. No, that would be New York.
Yeah. Liberty City.
They're going from Manhattan to, wait for it, the Bronx.
I'm waiting. Manhattan to the Bronx. Insert that clip from the Mario movie here. The old one. Okay, well, what would you call that?
Can I change my answer and just say Fast and the Furious?
Absolutely.
A parody of the Fast and the Furious might be a better option.
It'd be an easier cartoon to make.
Yes.
Instead of a cartoon parodying live-action cartoon movies.
Yeah. Oh. And I would call that Fast Piping. Fast and the Sewerus?
Better. Let's, the...
Sewerist 5?
Two Marios, Too Furious.
Oh, I just about had something.
So did I ruin it?
Almost.
candles. That's what we need for this.
Yes. Yes.
Little tea lights.
Oh.
That'll keep the cat away, too. Or...
Oh. Ain't got no podcast no more. Oh. There's something like Koopa and the Furious Tokyo Rift. Oh.
Back to the Oriental city of Sayonara.
Oh. Fat and the Kooparus.
Oh, that's in there.
Sayonara Drift. Final answer.
Very good. Okay. Well,
Now you've had plenty of time to think of yours.
I was literally going to make the same joke from the other end. I was going to say, even though I had all this time, I haven't thought about mine yet. So, okay, live action segment. I would say it's contemporary. Do I want like a modern, like if I was setting the show right now, but it's the same? Or do I want something from the 80s?
Your call.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, here we go. Have...
Riveting.
Yeah, okay, I'm working on it here. Someone from TV, not someone who's too famous.
From right now?
Yeah, oh, just whatever comes to me. I'm working on it.
Andy Sandberg.
There's one. No, how about we have one with the other Slime Busters show up, but it turns out Ernie Hudson is dead. No, God, I'm not very good at these. Let's start with the cartoon. That could work better. Okay, let's see. They did a Bond parody. I finally finished my Bond marathon that I've been referencing in previous episodes.
And now he's going to start from the beginning again.
Oh, this is good. Okay, late 80s, slumming it Adam West as the live-action guest star. From before he had his resurgence doing that William Shatner-esque, self-parody stuff. So I'd have Adam West show up as the actual guy who's there to exterminate a bat.
So it's a sequel to...
Yeah, it's the third part of the trilogy, but they didn't bring back Jim Ward.
Huh.
Wait, Mr. West, you're here to exterminate our bats? Precisely, Mario. I've always had a problem with bats. Once people talk about them, they're all you associate with. By the way, can that be made out to cash?
My man?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so there you go. And Adam West... Ooh, no. Or Adam West is Radigator Man. There it is.
Oh.
But he comes to the plumbing shop because he wants to find out if the Radigator is actually real. Or something. Yeah. There's something there. The Radigator Man. And it'd be one of those... the pizza phone rings as it so often does. But it's getting its line mixed up with the Radigator phone.
Oh.
And eventually, at the end of the first act before the cartoon, Adam West as Radigator Man shows up. But instead of coming down the staircase, he slides down a fireman pole that they have now.
Ah.
Yeah. And that's the pre-cartoon teaser. So, okay, so I'm going to pick up that after I do the cartoon now.
Okay.
This is going to be a long one, folks. Sorry, this wasn't supposed to happen. Blame Cole. If he ever shows up on the show, you can blame him directly. But, okay, so the cartoon. No superheroes because we're doing superhero for the live action. Let's see. Movie parody or story parody. Or just general cartoon trope that's been done to death. What are you
Stop
scratching?
It. Oh, that's not me.
That's not me either. Must be the cat?
Must be. Or a ghost.
Oh, okay.
Welcome our first guest star of the season, Ghost from the Basement.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, overdone cartoon trope. There's a hot new concert from the singing sensation
In Koopa?
There's something I was gonna say. New Koopas on the block.
Ah, that was better.
Yeah, that actually might be a joke from the Mario 3 cartoon. It's been a long time, and I only watched like the first disc of that box set. But anyway, but what turns it into a cartoon thing is there's the 4 of them, but they've only got 3 tickets, and they spend half the episode doing all the things to try and butter up Mario, who's going to give away the extra ticket. And then, eventually it sorts itself out and they get another ticket from Koopa or from Mauser or something because it's a trap. And then the cover song is
Hungry Like the Wolf? Duran Duran?
That would be interesting.
Oh, now I need to figure out what the cover song would be for mine.
Yes, we'll come back to that. Okay, anyway, Koopa's defeated and the Marios put on their own concert. And it's the plumber's wrath. They're hooked. The whole crowd leaves hooked on the brothers.
And back to Radigator Man.
Yeah. Who has turned the basement into his new Radigator cave. But the Radigator mobile is still parked up outside. And he has to leave because he didn't put any change in the meter.
Yeah.
And so at the end, he leaves, and Mario and Luigi both show up dressed as a Radigator-themed Robin, both coincidentally thinking they were going to be his new sidekick. Wait, you mean he's gone? Well, what are we going to do with these ridiculous outfits? Well, I guess we can always fight crime. And then the pizza phone rings, as it so often does.
And they have to do the Mario?
Yeah, but it's a plumbing emergency, so they immediately go back to their other identities. Do you need a superhero? Oh, you need plumbers. Oh, sorry, we can't... Wait a minute. No, you called the right place. It's like that phone message in the Mario movie, the old one, where bring all the plumbers you can. But Luigi's ignoring it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, do the Mario. So that's my episode. Oh, but what's the title?
Crossed Wires?
Super Zero. Or
Answer the Call?
we already had a Ghostbusters parody. It'd be a Super Zero or You've Got a Super Friend in Me.
Oh.
Okay, so anyway, there you go. And the cartoon was New Koopas on the Block.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's my Mario Super Show episode. And what's your cover song for your Fast and the Furious?
Ooh.
Sayonara Drift.
Yeah. That's a real good question. Oh. Can't do Danger Zone. We already have that twice.
Yeah. Spoilers.
The cartoon's over 20 years old.
It's true.
30 years old.
Also true. You're closest without going over.
Oh.
Okay.
Just trying to think. What's a good racing song? Beep beep.
that could have a cover.
Yes.
Oh, the song, maybe a song from Smokey and the Bandit.
No, I'm saying Beep Beep.
Oh, what the hell's Beep Beep?
I'll put, no, I won't get you to do that. It's a song that's about,
Ooh, what about one of those Beach Boys covers? Like,
oh, that's a good idea.
Like, Little Deuce Coupe or something. Was that Jan and Dean? I always get that mixed up. But anyway, you know what I mean. A racy surfing song. Or a surfy racing song.
Wipeout.
I'm not convinced that that's not coming. I haven't looked at the list in a long time, but that's almost too obvious. We haven't had a surfing episode.
No. We've had a volcano episode with surfing dudes.
So Adam West is still one up on the Super Show by having a surfing episode.
Oh.
Okay, so is Beep Beep your final answer? Or...
Beep Beep is my final answer, and I'll play it for you later, and you'll probably recognize it.
I probably will.
It's on the same level as like 50s rock as One-Eyed, One-Horned, Five Purple People Eater.
He ate 5 purple people?
Yes.
Oh, very good. Okay, well, that turned out to be a good thought exercise. Any more comments you want to get to before we start our letters?
There is one more, Disco Cole, so strap in. Wow, guys. The most recent episode of Sonic Underground was not only riveting, the musical number was spot on with the animation. Love the new metal sound way before new metal was at its peak. He spelt new metal N-E-W, not N-U.
Oh.
That's a Ganon ban.
It is. It is a Ganon ban. That is on the list.
Yeah. I've been listening to your podcast since it was just a small 2-man operation, doing your recording out of what I assume was the hollowed out middle section of a crashed plane fuselage.
Just keep reading.
Crashed somewhere by Lethbridge, judging from all the wind and animal noises. Anyway, since I'm such a longtime fan who's totally hip to the format of this mailbag section, I'm ever so keen to ask germane questions as well as forward clever observations and cute trivia. This week I'm going to do something a little off the cuff with my usual stuff. I find it peculiar that the Sonic creator let loose with this wild backstory for the youthful persona of already pretty juvenile characters. It seems to have a strange effect on later iterations of the character. The industrial hellscape and the hard musical riffs imply a life of constant strife. For Sonic to come out of this experience as jubilant and witty as he is speaks to the obvious effects. You still buckled in?
Oh, yeah. I'm not allowed to undo my car seat. A parent or guardian has to open it for me.
I'll be there in 3 to 5 business days.
Ooh. They must be having a sale.
Using the same logic, I have created a scientific process which samples post- and mid-apocalyptic themed children's cartoons with the DNA, the dark...
I've seen a few mid-themed children's cartoons about apocalypses.
The Spider-Man one?
Oh, you mean Unlimited?
Yes.
Yeah.
The dark backstory for Yoshi featured in 1991's Super Mario World has been uncovered. After a killing spree that reportedly took the lives of 12 Koopa Kingdom citizens, a star Yoshi known as Shellfucker, insert beep here.
Thank you. God damn it.
Accompanied by a white Yoshi with the alias Laurie North, were then seen performing a public display of bleep while slowly eating their bleep, hostage upon completion. They were then riddled with bullet bills and left to turn into coins in a filthy alley where their killing spree came to a sudden end. With the morgue of the Spaghetti Kingdom, a now failed state that has begun to rot from the inside out, Yoshi's egg was discovered in the spicy marinara that was formerly his white as bleep mother. Tossed into a dumpster due to an oblivious crack on the top, Yoshi's egg was forced to take to the gutters. Driven by fire flowers with a constant thing in young Yoshi's egg neighborhood, every day Yoshi's egg was in hiding. Well, every night he was taking his young life into his hands, knowing the only thing he had to offer was his shell, his solicited Koopa's clearly neglected kids, to give him gold coins in exchange for making a little crack on his shell. After years of selling his shell crack to the Koopa kids, we find ourselves in the first episode of Super Mario World, Yoshi's Egg, now too cracked to contain a long overdue Yoshkins. Sadly, the effects of selling crack while staying contained within a dinosaur egg is extremely deleterious to the mind and cause profound damage to the mouth. In less civilized corners of the world, a Yoshkin born after a development like this would be hidden away until they were ready to be in politics. It's commendable that the kind people of the Mushroom Kingdom nurtured such a sweet soul and do so publicly and without ridicule. Disco from the future. That's not a future I want to see.
So when did we stop talking about Sonic Underground?
Slightly after Fat and the Kooparus.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I went to my desk and I'm zoning out. Well, thank you, Cole from the future.
We will.
We'll put this reply in a tin can and bury it in the backyard. Along with a cassette tape of number 1 jams.
Yes.
I do want to do Sonic Underground on the show sometime. Instead of cover songs, we'll just play the actual songs from the episodes. Most of the time, they're worse.
Than the original?
Than anything.
But the theme song was bopping.
Oh yeah, the theme song riffs.
Yeah. No one can take the theme song away from me. And they've tried.
Yeah. That's why you're banned from 3 countries and 2 discount outlets. Or discoutlets, as I call them.
No, it's disc outlet stores.
Electronics boutique?
Apparently that's for sale in Canada again.
Why am I not surprised? Shall we get into the letters?
I thought we already were.
Shall we get into the emails from Dr. Derp? So we still have 2 of those to do.
Yes, let's do at least 2 of the Dr. Derp emails.
Well, that'll get us back on track. All right. Do you want to open it to follow along or just listen to my narration? It's up to you, but I just don't want to start without you.
I'm going to open it to follow along, which is, well, I opened the Animated Arcade email.
Oh, yeah, but I think he's still sending him to the Super Show.
Yes. So,
which is fair enough. We did tell people to go ahead and use the other ones still, so.
All right, so that will be Doppelganger the Magic Love?
Or That's a lot of kissing. It's double trouble today as we return to Hyrule, but first let's check in on the plumbers. Thoughts on the magic love? I'd like to think that this was one of the earlier skits they recorded due to Danny Wells flubbing the opening line, "Hey, Luigi." Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right. Oh, I don't think we mentioned that.
No, but I do remember it now that we read it. It also feels like one of the earlier skits to write. It evokes material like Neatness Counts with a, quote, celebrity guest evocative of Cher's Poochie. Easily one of my least favorite rappers to date. If I want to watch what this has to offer, I'll just go see a local production of A Midsummer's Night's Dream instead. Thoughts on Doppelganger? He did it. He got the kiss, I think. The most surprising thing about this episode is how below average the animation is by Zelda standards. It's still better than the average Mario cartoon, but you can tell that there was some kind of financial or time crunch during production on this one. Likewise, the pacing isn't quite as tight as usual, with lots of shots lingering a little too long. There's even a bad case of ventriloquism and color palette swaps like in the Mario cartoons. Yeah, we did notice that.
Yes.
Especially that one scene with where Link gets the kiss from the fake Zelda, and he makes the sound of being cut off, but there's like a full second before she leans in and kisses him. And then after that, like even the lip sync is slightly wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah, Zelda's magically turning into her evil counterpart right after the cool jump. And yet, in spite of these minor issues, it's elevated by an inspired premise that makes the most out of the central Link/Zelda dynamic. It's also nice seeing so much of the underworld with its wonky physics. A lot more entertaining here than it was in Sing for the Unicorn. It's not quite as keen as something like Toad Warrior or The White Knight, but it's a worthy companion piece. Favorite moment? The Scooby-Doo door sequence was surprisingly entertaining without feeling out of place. Among other highlights are the first kiss, the Moblin Stalfos fight, the underworld escape, the Excuse Me Princess on the horseback ride, and the Excuse Me Princess after the Octorok attack. That's the one I really liked, where he throws his hat. Yeah. Half of the Excuse Me Princesses of this cartoon felt earned, the other two felt forced. Honorable mention also to the climactic kissing contest. Unintentional foreshadowing. We wouldn't start seeing evil doppelgangers in the game until Zelda 2. Also, Link's blue bed tunic as in his nightshirt, recalls both Wind Waker and Breath of the Wild. Yeah, that's true. You know, in Wind Waker, Link gets those blue pajamas.
Yes.
Yeah, or he wakes up in them, but in a second playthrough, you can wear them the whole time. The fight with the Moblins and the Stalfos also has a lot of Breath of the Wild energy with the Ricochet Bomb. A lot of the action in general recalls Breath of the Wild, such as Link's mid-air sword blast or the Moblins scaling the wall armed with boomerangs. 15 to date. Updated top 5. One of these segments cracks my Yop 10, the other so uncivilized tier. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me take that again. The other so uncivilized tier. Specifically, the cartoon lands between Toad Warrior and Koopzilla. The current Yop 10. White Knight, Toad Warrior, Doppelganger, Mario meets Koopzilla, Sing for the Unicorn, Mario and Joliet, Kiss and Tell, Mighty McMario and the Pot of Gold, Time Out Luigi, and That Sinking Feeling. Question of the week. If your podcast co-host got swapped with an evil doppelganger, how would you be able to recognize the faker? You're the fake podcast host around here. And then if he didn't pick up that Sonic Adventure 2 joke, I'd know he's the real one. Christmas comes late next time around. See you then. Okay, yeah. So if I was switched with an evil doppelganger, what do you think would be the tell? Besides when we go riding horses after each recording and I don't have a reflection. Pardon me.
I thought I told you not to mention the horse farm.
I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't tell you it was poison. No, but seriously.
How would I tell if you were the fake? There would be a lot less
toilet flushing in the background.
I was actually holding on that. I heard it come in. It's like, I need to stop.
It's time to stop.
How would I know whether or not John is an evil version of John?
He doesn't make the Triforce float like he usually does.
Usually I will say he would do a lot more Lennon impersonations instead of Ringo.
From each according to his ability, to each according to his deeds.
Isn't that Marx?
I don't know, man.
Oh.
Probably. Lennon read a book of Marx while the quartet practiced in the park.
Yeah.
Hi, Poppins. Bye, Poppins. Oh.
Maybe Poppins.
Oh, on the lap. Hi.
But you'd go with a lot more of the subdued accents instead of the more forward, like, hey, Peter.
Hey, Peter. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh.
Okay, and a fake Aaron would probably be given away by...
His lack of good travel deals.
Yeah.
At Aaron Shanahan, the Travel Plan Man, on Facebook.
Yeah, and TikTok, I think.
No, it's just Aaron the Travel Plan Man on TikTok, or Coast to Coaster.
Yeah. Have you put anything on that TikTok in a while?
A little while ago I did.
Oh, nice. I must have missed it. Every time I open TikTok, it keeps showing me that same video of you walking forward in your Disney shoes.
Oh, that's what I added.
That's the most recent one? Well, that would explain it. Okay. Oh, yeah. The fake Aaron would go an entire day without mentioning cruises.
Oh.
And he would speak into the microphone for the entirety of one recording session. Because you know that this question was really for us to air our grievances.
Yes.
Yeah, if Aaron was replaced by his evil twin, I'd have a good co-host.
And if John was replaced with his evil twin, I would have to edit the podcast.
Yeah.
And do my fair share instead of just buying him out.
It's true. He just keeps buying me out.
Oh.
But yeah, no. It'd be some sort of hilarious, you know. And plus, again, the kisses would be a lot colder. All right, moving on to the second letter from Dr. Derp. Koopa Klaus / Little Mario's or a Bah-hum Coop. A Bah-hum Coop. And he put it in all caps, but I'm not getting any louder than this. Hey, John.
Bah-hum Coop. There.
Everyone. Hey, John and Aaron. To answer your question from last week's podcast, I never thought about the evil jar as anything more than a glorified, quote, timeout zone. The supernatural home from which all of Ganon's demons and monsters are called back to when their corporeal forms betray them. It's hard to tell whether individual monsters come back after they claim the spotlight in a cartoon, but I don't think Ganon would hoard them all in the evil jar if the implication was that a felled monster was useless to him. This even ties into how the monsters are portrayed in the Breath of the Wild games, resurrecting on the Blood Moon. In fact, I'll add that to the unintentional foreshadowing count. 16 to date. Don't let me forget it. Yeah, no, I think our main question was whether or not their arms would go with them, but I think that falls into our, no, they get called back into the ethereal evil mist.
Yes.
So I think that was option 4 out of 7.
Yeah.
As for your Mario doppelganger pitch, magic mirrors means Snow White, and Koopa had that magic mirror in Mario and Joliet, so riffing on that, Koopa uses magic mirror to turn Mouser into a Princess Toadstool doppelganger, completely with Toadstool's voice actress using Mouser's accent. Well, hopefully she has a better time figuring it out than we do. Sends him to replace the real Princess Toadstool and uses his magic mirror as a TV to watch the end result from his couch with an imprisoned Princess Toadstool. And Mouser has a grab bag of cursed items to use on the Marios, unsuccessfully, including poison apples, poison combs, itching powder, and a last resort black pit bomb.
Oh,
I'd watch the hell out of that.
Yeah. I'd want that in a movie.
There you go. Now on to today's shenanigans. Santa Claus is coming to the Mushroom Kingdom just in time for Ash Wednesday. Let's get hooked on the brothers. Thoughts on Little Marios? My headcanon is Little Mac was whom the Marios were cheering on the televised boxing match. Ooh, I like that.
Yes.
It's kind of like how there was that Punch-Out reference in the pizzeria in the new Mario movie.
Are we just going to mention all the Mario movies in this mailbag? Because we just did.
Both of those. But no, outside of Donkey Kong being replaced by Jumpman, all the other Nintendo games seem to exist in that universe as fictional things. Your tolerance for underwhelming child acting and over-exuberant adult acting will determine how much you dig this. That's why we didn't dig it.
Yeah.
I would have given it a pass pre-cartoon for being appropriately sincere, but I did not need to see the adult Marios running around in propeller beanie caps. Thoughts on Koopa Klaus? I can't believe Mario didn't take the left turn at Albuquerque. Well, it's a better Christmas special than the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog got, as we mentioned. But the trade-off is we don't get to hear the angelic voice of Long John Baldry. That's true. I've been watching that looping reboot stream that Shout Factory does on YouTube.
A reboot of what?
And they were playing the saga of them looking for Bob in the web. So you get lots of good Long John Baldry in there as Captain McAllister. Instead, we're stuck with Koopa's awful take on the Grinch's shtick and Toad's unfaltering avarice. At least the music does a good job of setting the mood. The cover of Jingle Bell Rock is especially appropriate. Favorite joke? I'm supposed to toss this to you? Only because Danny Wells' delivery is top tier. Also, hearing Koopa's John Cagney impression was amusing. Doesn't sound a bit like Cagney. I might put the real George Harrison line in there later, we'll see. Unintentional foreshadowing. I'm struggling to think of anything new here. But seeing Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad tumble down the tunnel brings to mind the underground levels of New Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Wonder. 59 to date. Updated top 5? Neither of these are bad enough for so uncivilized tier, but likewise neither impressed me. Not the worst Christmas I've celebrated, but I've had better. Question of the week. If you had to be Santa Claus for a day, let's say Christmas, would you just try to stick to Santa's usual routine, or would you do something fun to indulge yourself? We're going to have a high-flying time next week. See you then. Okay, first of all, that's implying that becoming Santa Claus wouldn't be indulging yourself.
I would eat the milk and drink the cookies.
Oh. Now that's leaving your stamp on it. Let's see. Yeah, that's... there's the furnace. It's not a recording without it. You know what? We're Canadians. It's cold as balls half the time. You're going to hear the furnace.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to bother trying to hide it half the time anymore.
If you hear the furnace, just know that's keeping us alive.
Yeah.
And you should be thankful for that. Or send a furnace exterminator to our address.
So let's see. How would I put my own stamp on being Santa Claus if I was going to? I'm too much of a... Okay. I'm a delivery guy in my 9 to 5, and there's nothing worse than when some new clown comes in and thinks they're going to reinvent the wheel. When the order we do these deliveries, the way we load stuff, it's all done that way for a reason, because we already tried all the other angles, and they didn't work as well as what we're doing right now.
But have you tried customer pickup only?
We do enough of that as is. So, no, I would just do my best to follow the schedule and rules as laid out by Santa. I wouldn't suddenly try and crack the code. You know. And you, just the cookies and milk reversal?
Yeah. I'm going to drink the cookies, eat the milk.
Very good. All right, I think that's it for this mailbag. Ended up being longer than I thought it would, but also a lot of fun. So
yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing how our episode predictions pan out. Ooh, that would be an interesting bonus at some point, is write like a short story expanded treatment of those episodes we invented.
Oh.
Although, for me, I might just have to transcribe what I said.
Yeah.
All right, back to the episode you were already listening to, and if you're still listening now, we especially appreciate it.
No, seriously, a reboot of what?
So, if you want to reach out to the show, you can leave a comment on the YouTube version of this episode.
Reach out to us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, eventually Instagram at The Animated Arcade.
Except on Twitter, where we're just Animated Arcade because the character limit.
Right.
And send us an email at theanimatedarcade@gmail.com. So, you want to make your predictions for the next episode? Besides the universal prediction that it's going to be a hell of a lot better than this?
I predict the cover song is going to be Snoopy versus the Red Baron by the Railroad Guardsmen.
Ooh, that would be interesting. Oh, I get it. Yeah, Aaron, he doesn't always turn off the cover song because we watched that compilation of all of them. And we don't always turn it off before we see the next one. Anyway, so the live action segment. Okay, I know I've heard this title used before in other stuff. Gorilla My Dreams.
Is it spelled Gorilla?
Yeah, like a monkey.
I'm still going to guess Guerrilla Warfare.
No, but then they would have called it Guerrilla Warfare. I've seen that done more than once, too. I'm going to guess Gorilla escapes from zoo, falls in love with Mario. Or at the very least, is hiding in the Mario Brothers plumbing shop. It's not Donkey Kong, unfortunately.
But it's on like it.
Yeah, it might be. Okay. What's your actual... Is that...
No, that wasn't my actual guess, but I think that there is going to be an ape costume involved.
Oh, there's gotta be.
And the question is, is there a blind date? And Luigi falls in love with it? Them? Her?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Like, I hate to be that guy, but I think I might have gotten pretty close to the bullseye on this one.
We'll see next time.
Yeah. And then the cartoon episode, I almost said the episode of the cartoon, I haven't done that in a while, is Mario and the Red Baron Koopa. They couldn't even call him the Koopa Baron or something. Or the Green Baron.
Yeah, the Green Baron would have been better.
Yeah.
The writers really need to time travel to this time, grab us, and have us rewrite this for them.
Yeah. Pay us in some of that inflation-free money.
They'd pay us minimum wage back then.
Ooh.
But we could invest.
And if you want to invest your time, you can join us in the next episode. I'm John.
I'm Aaron.
And until next time, everybody...
Do the Mario!